Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Clerk of the Board, would you please call the roll?
Freeholder Carter.
Present.
Freeholder Estrada.
Present.
Freeholder Hudak.
Present.
Freeholder Jallo.
Here.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Here.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Present.
Freeholder Wright.
Here.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Present.
And Chairman Bergen.
Here.
Chairman, you have 9 freeholders present.
Thank you. Clerk of the Board, would you please lead us in the prayer and salute to the flag?
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his Spirit on all who work for justice and peace. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clerk of the Board, please read the statement of compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act.
The Chair wishes to announce that pursuant to the requirements of New Jersey statutes annotated Title 10, Chapter 4, Section 10 of the Open Public Meetings Act, adequate notice of this meeting of the Board of Chosen Freeholders of the County of Union has been given by mailing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017, along with periodic changes necessitated by circumstances, to the newspapers circulating within the County of Union who are designated to receive such notice, and by posting the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017 in the Administration Building, and further by filing the annual meeting schedule for the year 2017 with the Office of the County Clerk.
Thank you. May I please have a motion to approve communication?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Aye.
And Chairman Bergen.
Aye.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. At this time, I'm going to call the entire Freeholder Board to step forward with me because we have a very special presentation to Freeholder Vernell Wright.
This is like Vernell Wright week. That's right.
Saving the best for last. You come then after we go and get down.
As I presume everyone in this room knows, this will be Freeholder Vernell Wright's last meeting as a member of the Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders. And as sad as we are to see her go, we want to make sure that tonight she got the recognition she's entitled to for the wonderful job she's done here on this board. So first of all, I'm going to ask Freeholder Carter and Kowalski to step up with the first presentation. and then I'm going to just pass the mic and give all the freeholders an opportunity to speak.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman. I've always appreciated the hard work of Freeholder Wright since she joined this board 6 years ago, doing 2 terms, working hard, being a member of NJAC and going to Trenton and representing Union County was always appreciated by me, and I'm sure the rest of this board. She brought a very unique, dynamic perspective to the Freeholder Board from her many years of education as an educator and administrator, and I thought that brought a really good twist to this board, and her input was invaluable. And Freeholder, I wish you all the best in the future.
Thank you, Al. For me, it was probably the greatest pleasure, as well as Hudak, who ran with Vernell on 2 occasions now. I tell you, Vernell is known by everybody in this county, but there are places that I tell you back to back. Oh, Vernell was my teacher in such grade. I don't know how because these people were not young. I mean, they, so, I don't know what's going on there, I said to myself. But I must say, Burnell, I can truly tell you you're an exemplary individual. There is no doubt that we have had difference of opinions at times, but the reality is that respect actually surpasses everything, because I get excited. You are very mellowed when it comes to that, and that mellowness brings down everybody's in terms of how they feel. And it has been a pleasure, a real pleasure for me to be here with you 6 years. I would never forget all the impacts that you have had over this many years, and I appreciate all that you have done. Sometimes I know that you have made us see the light from a different perspective, and that's very important, because we tend to be very myopic about issues and things, but I thank you. I know that we're saying goodbye, but we're really not saying goodbye, because you're only a phone call away. And my congratulations and my thanks to you for your years of service. I know that Union County residents are going to miss you. But I know you will keep engaged, and that's the most important part. Thank you again.
And I'd like to add my thanks and congratulations to you on your years of service as a freeholder and your so illustrious career as an educator and administrator and freeholder and community leader and church leader. Here on the Freeholder Board, every task that faced you, you've handled with grace and enthusiasm. You've been an example to us all, and I just want to say it's been a privilege to work with you. So thank you, and I agree. I know where we will be able to find you, and I'm sure that your community is not going to lose you, and you're going to be active and continuing with many of your interests. So thank you, and God bless.
Thank you. I have to echo what has already been said. The things that you have brought to this board have been so many, and it's been 6 years. It's truly been a pleasure working with you, especially with the partnerships that you have helped to strengthen in our communities. When we go out to the communities and we see people in our towns and the towns that we visit, the one thing that they continuously say that, you know what, Freeholder Wright, you know what, she was here, she made sure we got this information, and for that we are so appreciative and thank you for that. Now I know you're gonna look forward to, not having a Thursday night tied up or anything like that. It's okay, but please feel, we're gonna probably ask you to come back a few more times, keep that communication open, come visit, but most of all, we will be definitely staying in touch, and the things that you have brought to this board, we so thank you for it.
Freeholder Wright, like Angel, I had the privilege of running with you 2 times for Freeholder, which was a great experience. And I, too, am very disappointed that I lost the Freeholder Wright bounce this year in the election, because Angel is not kidding. I've run into many people who've said, I will vote for you, but you need to treat, Mrs. Wright well. I appreciate the energy in terms of campaigning, and as some of our colleagues have said, just your ever presence in terms of visiting, be it senior groups, community groups, the NJAC representation, just so many things that you've done as a freeholder. I certainly appreciated, and truly that you approached all the issues and challenges with a fresh slate and an open mind. And I always felt that I could talk to you about issues, and we could, kind of work through them together. So I'm very sorry to see you go. I do wish you well. I know you're not leaving, but I certainly will miss you. So congratulations, and thank you for your service.
Congratulations, Freeholder. One thing that I appreciate about Freeholder Wright is that, sometimes you come to the Freeholder meetings and with other freeholders you're talking all business. But Freeholder Wright always talked to me about my son and my health. And, those are the things that are really important in life, right? And that's just the type of person that she is. I will miss working with you. I know you've teased me all year about moving to Union and being the only freeholder from Union now. But I know that I have big shoes to fill, figuratively, right? And you know, I know every time I walk through Township of Union, everyone, especially from the Vauxhall section, you know, it's just the impact that you've had on that community for years and years and years outside of being a freeholder cannot go unrecognized. And I know that it will continue whether you're a freeholder or not, whether you're in elected office, because that's the type of person that you are, someone that gives and gives to the community. So congratulations on retirement from this, and good luck on your future endeavors.
First off, I was actually over here sweating because I thought Freeholder Jalo was going to start breaking out in a song tribute to you. And I was trying to figure out how I was going to follow up after that. I was trying to figure it out. But Freeholder Wright, you're somebody who's just great at everything you do. But I know for me, there's even 2 instances where I've walked with you in Union and seen the youth who are now adults saying, you know, Freeholder Wright, I own a business out because of everything you taught me in school. Freeholder Wright, I'm on a better path because of you taking extra time to listen to me and talk to me. And that's just an amazing attribute to have as an individual. And someone who even has yesterday, you know, you're speaking to some of us on the Freeholder board saying, no matter what happens next year, whoever the chairman is, whoever the vice chairman is, I'm going to be here to support you guys 100%. And that's the type of person you are. Continuing to always give back to your community, continuing to always give back advice to others, and for that we'll always be truly grateful for. Thank you, Freeholder Wright.
Speaking last, I just want to mention to those here who don't know, but last night Vernell received an award for her community service, well deserved. And during that party, we had an opportunity to watch live on TV as Congressman Payne said some beautiful words about Freeholder Wright from the floor of the House of Representatives. To me, it was just a thrilling moment, and I'm sure the Freeholder enjoyed it as well. So that was special. Unfortunately, we don't have the Congressman speaking tonight, but I did want to repeat a little bit of what I said last night. When I came on the board 5 years ago, I quickly learned that there are many different personalities on the board, many different ways of performing as a freeholder. And what I noticed most about you is that you sit and you listen. It was already been said, you're very calm. You give your opinion, but you're not boisterous about it. But you're always thoughtful. You're always thinking about what's best for the community and the families and the children in the county. And I've tried to emulate that at least a little bit as I've gone forward as a freeholder. So echoing what my colleagues have said, our colleagues have said, I will miss you, and we do wish you the best as you go forward. I do have a resolution on behalf of the board, and I'm not going to read it, but one of the things it does note that in 2015 you received Freeholder of the Year Award from the New Jersey Association of Counties as the best freeholder in the state of New Jersey, and that was well deserved. And finally, we have a gift for you. And I guess it's traditional to open it. Oh, maybe we should do it on the table.
You can handle it, right? Well, there you go.
You could just rip it open if you like. And just to read it, it says, presented to Freeholder Vernell Wright in recognition of your dedication, commitment, and countless hours given to the Union County residents, Union County Board of Chosen Freeholders 2017. And now if you would like to say a few words.
Oh, yeah, just a few words. That's all I need to say. Is that it? Thank you so much. This has been really an honor, and it gives you a kind of feeling that, what am I doing here? You know, this is not what you expect as a freeholder, so here I am. I'd like to thank this board for getting me to the place where I felt very comfortable about being a representative for the county. I would like to thank all of the residents of Union County, because I feel that this is a very special place, and I know this board is going to continue to work hard and to continue to do things that's going to continue to make us in Union County very special. Thank you for all of these treats. Somebody should have said this to me before I got here today so that I could be prepared. But what I would like to say, it's been 6 years that have been very, very special to me. Having never been a politician until I became a freeholder. So you see, that was very special. I haven't been in education and all the other things you keep hearing, but not making those kinds of decisions that you make as a freeholder. So I'd like to thank you for helping me and guiding me and giving me the opportunity, and especially Union County residents, for giving me the opportunity to do this particular job. Again, thank you. You will see me. I may be sitting back there one night when you come, because that's just the person I am. So again, thank you very, very much for this special. my brother and sister-in-law, Bobby and Penny, and my daughter-in-law, Debbie.
All right, now we have to move on to our mundane business of the public here. First, we have an ordinance for final hearing. Clerk of the Board, please read the ordinance by title.
Ordinance number 790-2017, an ordinance fixing the salaries of members of the Board of Chosen Freeholders, the county manager, and department heads.
Thank you. Being this is a final hearing, the matter is now open to the public for comment on the pending ordinance only. If you wish to comment on this ordinance, please step forward, give your town of residence, and please remember the 5-minute time limitation. Is there anyone who wishes to speak about the pending ordinance only?
Good evening, Chair Bergen, Bruce Patterson, Garwood, New Jersey. This ordinance, I'm asking you to vote no on it. Last year, you gave out 5% and 6% raises last year, and I actually asked you what special things were done for these 5-6% raises, and actually, you were afraid to answer, or you couldn't answer, but somehow we didn't get an answer from the public. So again, thanks to the Westfield Leader, at least they printed what these raises are in the paper, and for the public, I guess I'll just read them, not necessarily the dollar amounts, but the freeholders are giving themselves 2% raises. I guess it's acceptable, or I don't know. You didn't do anything fantastic, whether you get a raise or not. I don't know. But anyway, to continue on, Alpha Yellow now is getting a 2% raise. He's the county manager. He's making $176,000. County Council Barry now gets a 4% raise. He's now making $171,700. Director of Corrections Ron Charles now making $124,700. He's getting a 6% raise. Director of Engineering, Public Works, Facilities Management Joe Graziano is getting a 5% raise, now making $143,600. Bibby Taylor, Finance Director, is making now $145,000. She got a 5.7% raise. Recreation Director Ron Zuber, he's only getting a 2% raise for some reason. I feel sorry for him, I guess, but $128,000. Safety Director Andrew Moran, he's making $133,000 now. He got a 6% raise. So in among the 2% raises that you're given, I'm looking at another 4, 5, 5.7, 6% raises, and that's over and above the norm. The state was saying a cap should be like 2%, but you're giving out these largesse raises. And again, I'm going to ask, what fantastic things did people such as Andrew Moran do that deserves these large increases? Could you please explain it? So you didn't explain it last year when you gave out 5 and 6%, but now you're giving out 5 and 6% again. So the public, being that it's coming out of our pocket, would like to know what great things did they do that they deserve these large percentage raises. I know, we're going to have a staring contest.
If you're finished, Mr. Patterson, you can sit down. Otherwise, please
Well, I'm up here. You might as well answer. Okay. Thank you very much. I do understand the corrupted form of government that is in Union County, self-serving, and of course the taxpayers have to foot the bill. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else in the audience who wishes to comment on the pending ordinance only? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the meeting, and I'm going to call upon Fiscal Subcommittee Chairman Al Mirabella to please move the ordinance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll move ordinance number 790-2017 for final reading and authorize the clerk of the board to advertise the same in accordance with the law.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter.
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada.
Yes.
Freeholder Hudak.
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo.
Aye.
Freeholder Kowalski.
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella.
Aye.
Freeholder Wright.
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados.
Aye.
Chairman Bergen.
Yes.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative.
Thank you. We now move to that portion of the meeting where we will consider pending resolutions. If there's any member of the public who wishes to comment on any of the pending resolutions, this is the time. As always, please step forward, give your name, town of residence, and please advise which resolution you're referring to. And once again, there is a 5-minute time limitation. Are there any members of the public who wish to comment on pending resolutions only?
Good evening, freeholders. Anthony Esposito, Roselle, New Jersey. I am looking at Resolution 2017-1102. And this is hiring a company to do grant writing for $36,000 for next year. The name of the company is Millennium Strategies, and they're in Morristown. What I don't understand, we have in the county probably thousands of employees, and I'm sure many of them are extremely talented. Why do we need to go out and take a service like grant writing and to go outside? To go outside of our own employees? Even to go outside the county. So I'm sure there's other companies in the county that provides the same service. We really need you to start thinking about our tax dollars, because we all know the Trump GOP tax plan passed. And we're only going to declare up to $10,000 of our municipal taxes on our federal tax return. In Union County, that's not a whole lot, because some of the towns have taxes upwards of 20.
I'm sorry, Mr. Esposito, please keep it to the subject of the resolution.
Oh.
If you want to make general comments, you can do that later in the meeting.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
Well, my point is, I believe that this is an expenditure of money is it really needed? There's no one within our county organization that can write grants. I find that very difficult to believe. So why are we hiring this company? That's my question. Thank you.
Thank you. Deputy County Manager Amy Wagner, maybe you could just tell us the results of the work of this company?
Absolutely, through you, Chairman. This is done through an RFP process. In this particular year, we had 3 responses. None of them were from Union County. This grant writing company has been with us for a number of years. This year alone, they wrote 3 grants, 4 of which we've gotten, 3 are still in process. The total of what we've received so far this year is $6.5 million through their efforts, and we have another almost $500,000 outstanding for grants that the awards will be made in the spring of next year.
Thank you. Is there anyone else wishing to address pending resolutions only? Please step forward.
Good evening. My name is Roy Garcia, Vice President for 1199 at CIU. We represent about 150 workers in Aristocare at Del Air, and I just want to come out here to say thank you to all of you for your quick response. We were just here at the last meeting. Special thank you for Freeholder Estrada and Freeholder Hudak for your quick response. So we have a lot of workers that, 150 workers that are doing 2 jobs. Mona Lisa was here. She's going her 11 to 7 shift. They're barely making ends meet. And the Aristocare took their health insurance benefits when they came in just recently in July. So your voices in our community to tell corporations and companies that are just squeezing the working people and not giving them enough so they can take care of their families and take care of our county's most vulnerable citizens is important. Your platform is important, and the fact that you guys are considering this resolution 1115, we really appreciate your voice in this effort, because if it's successful, we avoid a strike, workers can take care of their families and the residents that most need their help. So with that, without further ado, I'll introduce some of them.
Yes, good afternoon. My name is Mona Lisa Nut, and I work for Aristocare at Delaware. I want to thank all of you for your support, because we really need it. I live right here in Elizabeth, not too far from here. Thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Sandra Lopez. I work at Aristocare too, and I came to say thank you, everybody, for support us, because I need insurance for my family and my children. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Greta Dolly. I've been working for that company for 26 years, and they take everything away from us. We have nothing now, sick day, everything, health insurance, we don't have nothing. So we thank you, for support. So we expect, things go well for us. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you all for your comments, and best of luck. Anyone else in public wishing to comment on pending resolutions, please step forward at this time.
Excuse me. Thank you.
Yeah, John Berry of Kenilworth. And I got 3 questions, well, 4, just to comment on that last 1115. When he mentioned about squeezing working people, this is a private company that's coming in, and you don't know the details or the facts, but Union County Freeholder Board is probably, when it comes to squeezing working people, I mean, they're probably right up there. Now, I have 3 questions on, well, going backwards. 1112, that Schwartz, Simon, Edelson coming into the Mind and Body Complex. Because there's, I assume Union County was named in the lawsuit. Esposito against UC on that Mind and Body. Are they going to be the lawyers now? I assume the county was handling this, or is this just, what are they going to be doing? I mean, if they're, it doesn't look like they're going to be named the counsel in that suit, or is that really the suit they're coming in for, or are they doing just general advisory work? And the second question, let's see. Yeah, on 1052 on page 6, county raises for exclusionary wages. Just to clarify, these are non-union employees, I guess, and how many are involved, or how many, and it seems like some people might not get the 2%. So if you can estimate, how many will be getting the 2% raises, and how many are there in total, assuming those are 2 different numbers, that there are some people who are going to get less or nothing. So how many people are involved in that 1052? And the last thing is, oh yeah, Millennium Strategies, 1102. I didn't really look this up, but I seem to remember Assemblyman Holly was involved in that. He may have put that on his financial disclosure form. Is that still the case? Is he one of the principals or workers at Millennium Strategies? Or if not, is there another, I don't know, connected politician or whoever who's involved with Millennium Strategies? And then a general comment on both 1102 and 1103. If you have to pay this money to get the grant, I don't think it's worth it. It's a rather seedy way of doing government. I mean, there's winning strategies primarily. I mean, they're federal grants. And if you don't deserve the grant, then hiring winning strategies to get it is, you know, it's just something that nauseates me personally. Maybe you've gotten used to it. But just those things.
Thank you, Mr. Burry. I will respond on Resolution 1112. Schwartz, Simon, Edelstein is a firm that was hired specifically to give the board advice on Board of Education and Department of Education issues concerning the Mind and Body project. So they were hired for that very specific purpose. They are not representing us in the litigation. The county counsel's office represents us in that litigation. And Resolution 1052, County Manager, if you could just address how many employees are affected by that resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I don't have the exact number, but this applies to all of our exclusionary non-union employees that are covered by contractual obligations.
Thank you. Is there anyone else in the public who wishes to address any of the pending resolutions? Please step forward.
Good evening, Chair Bergen, ladies and gentlemen of the Freeholder Board, Bruce Patterson, Garwood. Overall comment is, I'm looking at a lot of money flying out the door this week, so a lot of big numbers. I guess I have to keep it down to a couple of minutes. So, page 4, number 1035 in the center, improvements to the jury waiting room. Public Works, I guess I need an overall view of what this is about. I mean, it's $359,000, and I wasn't here last meeting, so maybe this was already discussed, but I'll tell you, that's a wow number, and it really doesn't say who's it going to. I don't, oh no, was it Precision Building and Construction? That's what it is. But anyway, why so much money? I mean, an overview on that one, that's a big number. Page 6. Number 1048, 1050, 1051, approving transfer of current fund appropriations, canceling unissued balance from an ordinance, county manager, okay, 1051, leave 1051 out. 1048 and 150, what kind of dollar amounts are we talking about here? And is this actually going to be offsetting, is it going to be included in the budget as extra money next year to offset the taxes? Number 1051, it's internal position controls. I'd like an overview on that. Last time you did it, I actually Oprah'd, but you said you didn't vote on it yet, so you weren't going to give me anything. And it's really tough. How can you talk about it if you're not going to be able to give it to the public? So overview on that. 1053 on the same page. That's a big number. $4,481,000 to MPC Bus for routing, scheduling, and dispatch and road operator services. I guess the question here is, does that include the buses? It's a 2-year contract, I noticed. Page 7, 1060 near the bottom, Montano Skate Park, some kind of skateboard park project. A skateboard, $652,000. Another wow number. I'd like to hear what that one's about. 1061, there's a $4,492,000 through competitive contract process for operation budget of the golf course. Who's that? There's no name, so who's that? 1062 is another who's that. It's the operational budget for the Warren-Anko Sports Center, $515,000. I guess those are outside contractors, but he didn't have names there, so explanation on that. 1078 on page 9, full service mailers. That's a 2-year. That's a 2-year thing. Obviously, they had a 2-year previously. I'm just wondering, why is it 2-year? It's not a big number. It's not a wow number, so I guess I can live with that number. 1091, page 11. Acrisure. There's no dollar amount on that. I'm wondering what is Acrisure going to end up with as a dollar amount if they had it last year, what was last year's number? And I just want to remind you that the principal was caught an insider trading and fined $750,000, and also as McGreevy's chief of staff, he had to resign.
Mr. Patterson, keep it to the resolution at hand, please.
I am. I'm telling you that this guy you better vote no on because he's a shifty character, unless you embrace shifty characters. So,
Mr. Patterson, please.
Okay. I guess one more. Bottom, page 14, very bottom, 1121, the board's opposition of the Trump-GOP tax plan. Well, that's nice, but, the question is, who read it? If you're opposing it, then obviously somebody up there must have read it, so please, could somebody raise their hands as to who read it, or when I sit down, say, oh, yeah, I read it, and these are the reasons. So, you're opposing it. Is it politically opposition? Is that all it boils down to, or somebody raise your hand that you read it, though. That's it. Thank you very much.
Is that available?
Thank you, Mr. Patterson. Try to address all your questions. I'll just say about your question about the tax plan, I would tend to bet that there are probably very few senators or congressmen who read it either. So, 1091. Let's see. The question was how much is that contract for? Director Yuska, maybe you could address that.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chair. Acrisure, BGIA have been our brokers for the last 27 months, and we're looking forward to continuing to work with them. The way that the structures where they're paid is that our health insurance broker, which is Horizon, and Horizon for prescriptions, and they also are brokers for stop-loss insurance, for the dental plans, and they get standard commissions from Horizon and for the prescriptions and the other parts of it. They get $16 per employee for the medical and the prescription. They get 10% commission on the premium of $1.5 million for the stop loss. The stop loss is very important. If we ever go over $350,000 for any one claim, we're covered. The dental, they reduce that premium, and that's that commission that they get is $43,000 for that. They also get 10% commission on disability for some of our employees. That's $23,000. Now, that said, their total commissions per annum is $850,000. Now, you could say that's the bad news. Here's the good news. In the last 27 months, they saved us $2.6 million in reducing fees and renegotiating the contracts, in making sure that our prescriptions are charged the right way. In fact, through our new prescription vendor, this isn't included in that, we're hoping to get a $400,000 rebate for the first quarter of the Horizon contract that started. We're hoping to get $400,000 every quarter going forward. They're projecting on our prescription that we may save upwards of $3 million to $4 million going forward on the 36 months. So to me, and to the committee that picked this, it's money well spent.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Resolution 1078, County Clerk Joanne Rajapi, can you address why that's a 2-year contract?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, through you. Full Service Mailers is a vendor we use in the primary and general to send out 325,000 sample ballots to our residents, our voting residents. It is a proven vendor. We like them. They've saved us a great deal of money because the way they process the labels and the mail, they save us about $5,000 to $7,000 every time they mail in mailing costs. So we like to use them. They've proven themselves well, and we want that option. We're not saying it's 2 years. It's an option to renew.
It's very good. Thank you.
You're welcome.
1061 and 1062, Division Director Sanchez. I think the question there was who these contracts are being awarded to?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, 1061 is the 4.4 million is for our operational budget for the both golf courses. That would be under Kemper Sports. And the 1062, the 515,000 will be with sports facilities management for the operations of Warren Ankle Sports Center, which is going to be open year-round, not just the 6 months that we have previously been open in the past.
Thank you. Okay, number 1060, is that, you're going to stand in for the director on that one?
Through you, Mr. Chairman, this was a low bid that we had gone out to bid. The lowest bidder was Applied Landscape Technologies. They were about $80,000 lower than the next bidder. This is going to be a complete change from the current skate park that we have at Matano, which is very highly utilized already. We're going away from the traditional more ramps and wood ramps and steel frame ramps to a more of a modern day streetscape, which is going to be basically all concrete. It'll feature not only your streetscape like the skateboarders use, like the park benches and whatnot, but they're also going to have a bowl type, a series of bowl effect into the park. So it's a pretty big upgrade for the users, and it's going to be kind of a county destination for all our skateboarders.
Very good, thank you. 1051, County Manager, can you just give a brief overview of the position controls?
Thank you, through you, Mr. Chairman. These entail position controls in the Departments of Human Services, the Office of the Sheriff, Economic Development, Public Works, and Corrections, and a vast majority of them are individuals who will be taking on additional duties.
Thank you. Director Taylor, as to 1048 and 1048, 49, and 50, just what happens to those funds?
Good evening, Chairman, through you. Resolution 2017-1048 is a transfer of current fund appropriations, which means that we're going to be moving those funds from an area of excess to an area that is in need of additional funds in order to meet their obligations through through the end of this month. 1049 is we're canceling these appropriations. Most of these are state funds that we would typically anticipate. However, the state has notified us that instead of collecting the revenue and then doing a transfer to give them back a net amount, they've just told us don't do the transfer and just give them the excess funds that they are due. And so that's what this resolution represents, and that's in the amount of $24 million. Resolution 2017-1050 is canceling an unissued balance, and that is for a guarantee ordinance that we adopted previously that has no impact on the levy. That just essentially reduces our gross debt.
Very good, thank you. And I think the last one, 1035, Director Graziano, if you could just address the jury room project.
Sure, through you, Mr. Chairman. This was the project we discussed last week. We are doing this project because we are doing the new stair tower that's going up to the top floor of the courthouse, and it's going right through the current jury room that only seats 160 people. The new jury room that's being done will seat 260 people. We'll have 2 new bathrooms in it, all new air conditioning, plumbing, everything else, and new forms of egress also to that building. This was also a low bid for $359. The county is also doing about $300,000 of work in kind as well. So we're jumping on this as well with our own staff.
Very good. Thank you.
Also, Chairman, if I may add,
Certainly.
correct me if I'm wrong, this space is required to be provided by the state for the purposes of the courts and the jury. This
Yes,
is
that's-
something that we are mandated to do.
Absolutely. Yep. And since we're going through the current jury room, we have to replace it with either in kind or bigger. And this was a better area in the new annex too, because that's where most of the cases are anyway.
Very good. Thank you.
You're welcome, Chairman.
Are there any other members of the public who wish to address pending resolutions? Please step forward.
Maria Elizabeth. I have a question on 1081, page 10. I want to know like, what's the detail of all this? And like, is it that your stuff sits on the shelf for like, let's say a decade, or how many things are actually getting done at what time? Like, what's the time frame of everything, so things can actually get moving along and something get done? You know, because there's a lot of different numbers here, and I know a lot of times things sit on the shelf, like, is this just to buy more shelves, or is it to actually, you know, do what's needed to be done to get the system getting moving? Thank you.
Thank you. And you were referring to 1081? Okay. From the prosecutor's office, we have Tom Condry. If you could just explain briefly what this project entails.
Through you, Mr. Chairman, 1081 is referring to VOCA money and VOCA grants, and then shelving and stuff was being mentioned. Am I off there?
I didn't see the shelving either, but just if you could explain what it is for.
Yeah, on the shelving. On the shelving or 1081? 1081
No,
is...
1081. 1081.
Okay. This is simply authorizing us to accept funding from the state of New Jersey for the VOCA grant, Victims of Crime Act grant. This grant funds our sexual assault response team, the forensic nurse, examiners, and so on. That'll be a period from October 1, 2017 through September 30, 2018.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to address any pending pending resolution, please step forward.
Brandon Bernier, Roselle. The shelving's in 1083. I just figured if she wants a response about the shelving, it's 1083.
Okay, she said 1081.
Thank you.
She said 1081.
Okay. Mr. Condry, if you could
It's
just...
the best comment of the night.
Yes, through you, Mr. Chairman. This shelving is will replace existing static shelving that we currently have at the forensic laboratory for both the CDS section and the biology section. Currently, it's static shelving that is not very effective. It's not very efficient, as it was stating last week. There are a row of shelves, and for each row of shelves, you need a walkway to go down in between each one. These are space-saver systems. They're a mechanical assist system. They go a little bit higher. The shelves are a little bit thinner, and they all collapse on top of each other by way of a mechanical assist. Therefore, in one room, we will gain approximately about 70% more space than we currently have. And in the biology section, we should gain about 80% of the space. I believe part of the question was, will things stay longer? Evidence retention guidelines dictate what type of evidence stays and for how long before it can be destroyed. In the area of biology, a lot of that stuff is lifetime.
Very good. Thank you. Anyone else wishing to make comments on any pending resolution? Seeing none, I'll close that portion of the meeting, and I will ask for a motion, please, to adopt resolutions 2017-1016 through 2017-1122.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a
Second.
Moved by Freeholder Mirabella, seconded by Freeholder Kowalski. Clerk of the Board, please call the roll.
Freeholder Carter?
Yes.
Freeholder Estrada?
Yes, with a no on 1102.
Freeholder Hudak?
Aye.
Freeholder Jallo?
No to 1102 and 1103, aye to the rest.
Freeholder Kowalski?
Yes.
Freeholder Mirabella?
Aye.
Freeholder Wright?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Granados?
Aye.
Chairman Bergen?
I abstain on resolution 2017-1044 and vote yes on the remaining.
Chairman, you have 9 votes in the affirmative for all resolutions with the exception of resolution number 2017-1102, where you have 7 votes in the affirmative and 2 in the negative. For resolutions 2017-1103, you have 8 votes in the affirmative with 1 vote in the negative. And for Resolution 2017-1044, we have 8 votes in the affirmative with 1 abstention.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. We now come to that portion of the meeting where members of the public can comment on any governmental issue that they feel may be of concern to the residents of the county. Once again, step up, state your name, town of residence, and remember that there is a 5-minute time limitation. Anyone wishing to address general topics to the Freeholder Board, please step forward.
In conjunction with Citizens Going Forward.
Can you just talk a little more into the mic? I'm having trouble hearing you.
Yes, my name is Philip, and I'm a resident of Broadway, and I work in conjunction with Citizens Going Forward. Just want to read the mission statement for the board. Dear Union County Freeholders, first let us start off by thanking you for consideration and funding sponsoring our programs. We are always looking for business and corporations who share our visions and goals in support of the youth and community at large. Citizens Going Forward is a nonprofit organization based in Elizabeth. Citizens Going Forward mission to provide recreational, educational activities for the youth and community while building self-esteem and developing positive, healthy habits in a structured, safe environment. We are very active in our community. We provide many programs and activities to its residents. For the homeless population, we collect items to give them, such as bowling for a cause and banquet event. This event program raises money through a bowling tournament and donations drive to purchase new shoes to hand out to individuals at banquets held in their honor. For our seniors, we hold a celebration in the park, Senior Citizens Day and Family Picnic, where we gather in the park with them and provide food, music, games, information to those that attend. For teens and young adults, we host a fall basketball league in which the participants compete in games that culminate into a banquet and awards dinner. The dinner recognizes the accomplishments throughout the season and is also attended by motivational speakers, numerous city officials that give words of encouragement and accolades that they so desperately need. In the spring, summer months, we also host a Goodwill Festival. This festival is an all-day family-friendly event in which attendees enjoy basketball clinics, music, dancing, food, clothing vendors, games, and more. Our members also actively volunteer to help serve the community through many outreach programs that are provided by the city. We allow other residents, business colleagues, city officials, etc., to volunteer with our organization, which builds a strong bond and relationships between all parties involved. And we also provide individuals to earn community service hours by participating in our working in various programs. Although not an easy task, our programs are provided by the community with no cost, minimal expense to its participants. As a 501(c) nonprofit organization, we depend on volunteers, sponsorships, charitable and in-kind donations, and to fund our various programs and activities. We are grateful for any contributions and assistance you are willing to give. It is very much appreciated. If you need any further info about these and other programs of Citizens Going Forward organization, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. You may also visit our website, www.citizensgoingforward.com, which also has a link to our various social media platforms. Thank you in advance for your time and support of our organization.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Freeholders.
Good evening.
My name is Chris Nelson. I reside here in Elizabeth, and I'm here to thank you all in the spirit of gratitude for you supporting us over the years. Really appreciate it. So I really want to go by thanking the chairman, first of all, yourself, Mr. Bruceberry.
Thank you.
Also would like to thank the vice chairman, Sergio Granados, who I brought this to his attention and he was on board. And Ms. Wright, thank you as well. You'll be missed, and we really appreciate your support. And all you that's up there as well, we really appreciate it, and we hope that we continue to look forward to your support. With that being said, we also like to thank Mr. Ron Zuber, the director, supervisor, Miss Ella Chase, Sean, Miss Rashana Crosby. We also like to thank the Union County Sheriff, Captain Black, and the Union County Maintenance Grounds Department, because without them, a lot of things wouldn't be possible. So we really appreciate their diligent work as well to help us. But with that being said, though, I come before you because in doing all that we have labored and done throughout our community with the county support and with the city hall support and all, and the community, we have received a commendation on behalf of citizens going forward from United States Senator Cory Booker. And if I may, I just would like to go through this, read this real quick off to you. It says, "Dear Chris, it is a pleasure to join with your family and friends in congratulating you as the Citizens Going Forward honors you for your dedicated service and leadership. This honor is well-deserved acknowledgement of your steadfast leadership and an impressive record of service. Your ongoing dedication to your community is an inspiration and speaks to your deep commitment to the conviction that we must take care of others. As Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. said, life is most persistent and urgent. Question is, what are you doing for others? It is evident that you answer this most urgent question every day, and your efforts are worthy of a commendation. Once again, congratulations, and I look forward to celebrating your continued success." Well, I brought this before you because I wanted to share this with you, because it just don't happen with one person. So it was a collective effort, and I really appreciate everybody that contributed to Citizens Going Forward success. And hopefully we can continue to build together and bring some new life to the community. Thank you so much.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Thank you for what you do.
Much appreciated.
If there's anyone else from the public who wishes to address the board at this time, please step forward.
Brandon Bernier, Roselle. I just wanted to get up and thank this board for pulling the resolution, or the ordinance, excuse me, related to the Roselle Mind and Body Complex. If you told me all I had to do was get up and tell you I'll go ahead and vote for it at the last meeting I was at and it would go away, we could have done that months ago and been through with it. But, you know, I think what we've been asking for, you know, imploring this board to do, was to look at the situation and realize Roselle needed to go back to the drawing board. You know, the lawsuit, you know, moving forward gives us the time to do that. Pulling this ordinance back gives us the time to do that. You know, I was sitting here thinking to myself, Roselle really needs to work on itself a little bit right now and go back and figure things out at home. And once we clarify what our community needs exactly and what we can afford to build, I think we'll be in a much better place to possibly come back if we need the county's help at that point, and work on a project that the entire community is behind. So again, thank you for pulling that ordinance. I wish it wasn't even on there in the first place and that we let things play out first, but you know, I appreciate it. Hopefully this board will be available and ready with whatever help Roselle needs as we continue this process of figuring out what we need, what we can afford, and how we're going to move forward to meet the needs in our community. So thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Anyone else?
Anthony Esposito, 414 East 3rd Avenue. I'd just like to discuss a little bit the insurance benefits that are given to all employees here in Union County, and how that is actually managed by the Freeholder Board. I know that the Freeholder, the county, is a very large organization. Its budget is quite large. And my question is, has the board ever or revisited the idea of self-insuring the insurance for this county? And how often do you revisit it? And do you examine the cost, risk, benefits of self-insuring? You can save a lot of money. Many large corporations do this. They self-insure. And it saves a lot of money on brokerage fees, and you negotiate directly with the insurance companies. You need a broker, but the amount of money that he takes is minimal when you do self-insurance. So I think that might be a great way to investigate saving money for the county. Because, as you all know, it's 20, 25, 30% of the cost for employees is benefits. So if you can save on that, you're saving money. Also, what I wanted to get into a little bit was this tax plan that just went through with the GOP. It's capping deduction at $10,000. And most of the properties in Union County are quite a bit higher than that $10,000 number. So I think it becomes even more urgent for the Freeholder Board to work even harder at the expenditures that you make. Is it something that we need, or is it something that we want when we go out and spend the money? Because the taxpayers bear the burden. We don't have that tax break anymore, because my taxes in Roselle, I'm paying 12, so I'm above the cap. So, and I think most people in Union County are going to wind up that way. So it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt. So I'm asking the freeholders to really look at all of the projects, and is it a need or a want? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Esposito. I would just note that the county does, in fact, self-insure. We went to that system a number of years ago. If you heard mentioned earlier about stop loss, that's after our self-insurance plan, just in case of catastrophic loss. So thank you for those comments, but we're a little bit ahead of you on that one. Thank you.
Great minds think alike. Denise Wilkerson, Roselle, New Jersey. Good evening to the board. Congratulations on a stellar record of service, Freeholder Wright, for this board. And it's an honor to be here tonight as they celebrate you and the service that you did for this county, so thank you. I came tonight to see if that ordinance was on the agenda. It's good to see. I was pleasantly surprised that it wasn't, and I'm grateful for that. And on behalf of the residents of Roselle, I also thank you for that. Now that the case is moving forward, Anthony Esposito's case is moving forward, can we be assured that nothing will move against this project from this board? So just an update on what would be next, or is it still a holding pattern considering that? Okay, all right. Just if it's not a holding pattern, perhaps, resending anything that's on the agenda for this project until we figure it out. We are all open to working collectively at our local level in Roselle, as Brandon said, and we just need some time to do that and get that right. And we look forward to a partnership with the county to get whatever is needed for our borough done. Thank you.
Thank you. Technically, with the new year coming and the new board being sworn in, the ordinance that was introduced will die for having not been passed. So there will be nothing pending there. And we do have the plan to revoke the ordinance passed earlier in the year, guaranteeing the other side of the project. So at that point, there will be nothing pending at the county concerning the project. Anyone wishing to address the board at this time, please step forward.
Good evening, Chair Bergen, Bruce Patterson, Garwood, New Jersey. Since everybody's saying thank you, I'd like to also add my thanks to the Freeholder Board on the Kids Recreation Trust Fund grant to Garwood for $55,000 for our Hartman Park renovation. I'm sure sooner or later we'll get a big check. So, but I do want to thank you on that. It turned out actually to be a hot issue in Garwood, but you know, we're getting the grant, and I'm saying thank you for it. So, and also thank you to Freeholder Wright for her service, 6 years. I guess she was the only one I really didn't cringe when she spoke, so I guess that was a good thing. The budget cycle's coming up. You know, I know Al Fiallo is the county manager, and he's kind of toiling and troubling over the bubbling cauldron of what the budget is, and it's $500 million right now as we go into the end of the year and looking at the forward year. I don't know what the number's going to be, but obviously it's going to be around there or more. Just a couple of items I just bring up to recognize. One thing is what came today, $24 million we have to return to the state of New Jersey. Now, I'd really like a comment on what that is. That sounds like that's like a 5% impact to our budget. I don't know what kind of impact that's creating. Also, the UCUA, and I mentioned this last year, that came out of the McEnroe report on the UCUA financing, that the UCUA was going to be giving Union County $2 million out of that financing. And last year, as I noted, it was reduced down to $1 million. This was illegal. I really didn't follow through on it, but I hope that it's now back to $2 million legally, or else maybe something will be done about it. The Hudak-Patterson infrastructure grant, $4.5 million. That's it was given for the last 3 years from the profits of Runnels Hospital. That's basically you used up the money. So the question is, that's in limbo. So I don't know what you're going to do about it. Obviously, the towns were excited for using it. Garwood did receive their portions of this grant money. So moving forward, obviously, if you do continue that grant, it's not out of the Runnels profit, but it's going to be out of the budget, let's say. So somewhere it's going to have to come from the taxpayers. Just, you know, and I've been talking about this the last couple of years, but, you know, you're running surplus at the end of the year. As a guess, it looks like it's probably going to hit around $72 million as a fund surplus. And after you roll money back into the budget, probably you're going to be left with about $48 million as a guess. I didn't do calculations, but roughly, you know, knowing how you guys work, these are the numbers. So you're going to be sitting on about $48 million as surplus. Again, I'm talking about giving it a per household grant, possibly for every town to do what they want to do with. And ultimately, maybe the towns would be using it for revaluation, because these are going to be big hits for all the towns. But, you know, it's not going to be used for revaluation with you guys saying the money, but a per household grant would be very nice. That's about it. I'll be talking more, of course, on the budget as you go through your cycle. I wish everybody good luck. Yeah, the tax plan coming out of Congress, yeah, it's kind of vexing to a degree with that $10,000 cap. They will be decreasing the tax rates on income, so maybe that'll be offset. But I think it is time to actually look at the county budget. I mean, that's $500 million. I've always been saying you can at least knock off 20% probably if you really go into detail and get all the waste and abuse that's in there. But something has to be done. New Jersey obviously is a profligate state with a lot of programs and possibly duplications of costs. You know, so it's maybe penalizing the high tax states like New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York. Something will have to be looked at. I implore County Manager Alfiello to really seriously take a look at the budget this year and moving forward, do you know, in light to the tax plan. And if anything, I'd like an answer on that $24 million that we have to return to the state.
Thank you, Mr.
That's
Patterson.
an interesting issue.
Thank you. I'm told by the county manager that, oh, all right, we'll ask CFO BB Taylor to just address that.
Through you, Chairman, the state assumption appropriation is equal to $31 million. The revenue is equal to $25 million. The state essentially says that we have to transfer over the excess, the difference between the two, of $5.2 million. They notified us that instead of transferring the $31 million and then receiving the $25, they just want the net difference between the two. That's why I'm canceling the $24 million out of that program that they requested. That is it. There is an offset in the revenue and the appropriation, a net zero effect on our budget.
So we're not returning money, it's just an accounting
It's an
measure
accounting
to-
mechanism that the state has notified us. They did the same thing last year with our DIFAS funds, where you may recall we did a cancellation last year by state notification as well. So this is a decision by the state.
Thank you.
Okay. And if I could just also clarify with the Runnels funds, I think that's also a critical piece. The board made a decision to appropriate $1.5 million out of the Runnels proceeds for the infrastructure grant. As of year-end 2017, we still have $15.4 million in the proceeds, and those funds are set aside as a reserve on our balance sheet
Very
for
good.
whatever usage the board
So we have not
chooses.
used up the Runnels
But
proceeds?
we have not used the Runnels money. It is a separate reserve on our balance sheet.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Are there any other members of the public who wish to address the board on any public subject at this time? Seeing none, I'm going to close that portion of the meeting, and we will move to our final freeholder reports and comments for the year. We'll start with Freeholder Hudak.
Thank you, Chairman. A few comments were made regarding the tax program that was passed by Congress. You know, in terms of as someone on this board, as someone who is representing a municipal body in this state, the offense I think our residents should have is that New Jersey, I believe, receives somewhere in the around 74 cents on every dollar that we as taxpayers send to the federal government. One of the equitable tools that were in place was the deduction on state income and property taxes. They are higher in New Jersey. They are higher in most of the northeastern states as well as California, and it's probably because the infrastructure is older. There's a lot of people who live here. It has to be rebuilt. There's a lot of services, and a lot of people tend to work here, and then maybe people move later in life to places where there's not so many people, not so many needs for services. This is a blatant grab of wealth from one part of the country to the other. I'm happy, I believe that, and I may be factually inaccurate, but I believe only one representative from the New Jersey delegation voted for this bill, and I think it was MacArthur in South Jersey. And I say shame on him. Shame on him for turning his back on the state of New Jersey. You know, this board will continue to be proactive. One of the things that has been mentioned was the infrastructure program. Very proud of that program. You know, those are some of the innovative ideas that this board has had to work with the municipal programs to try to stretch local tax dollars where we have seen a consistent decrease from the federal government in terms of aid. The residents have every right to be offended. We're going to do our best to try to work within this structure. I know some municipalities, and I'm not sure what's going on in Union County, have actually permitted residents to prepay their 2018 taxes so that they can attempt to take advantage of that, you know, of that tax advantage for the 2017 year. I would recommend that residents, if they have that ability, you know, if you're paying a mortgage, odds are you're paying an escrow, and that's not a choice for you. But I would recommend perhaps if you are someone who does pay your taxes, maybe look into that if you want to try to capture that savings for 2017. But it is a shame. It is a shame, and it is wrong, and it is certainly a blatant taking of wealth from this part of the country and trying to distribute it to really those who just aren't in need. So It's very, very disappointing. I had the privilege as a citizen of this state to serve on a jury last September. And so I say bravo to the new jury room. You know, it is expensive in terms of a project, but when we're dealing with larger, older buildings, the renovation cost is sometimes very large, and we should keep that in perspective. But I'm sure when I have to serve on a jury again in a few years, will be very happy to be in a hopefully, hopefully better lit, cleaner, bigger space where perhaps everyone's not on top of each other. So I look forward to seeing that in the next few years. As far as the Roselle project, the county, the disappointing part of that particular project, and I expressed my opinions on it a couple of months ago, it is really that school project is not going to happen. And just as a neighbor, that was as a neighboring town, that's something I'm very disappointed, because I was really hoping to see Roselle get that done. But you know what, the project needs to go back to the drawing board. You're absolutely right, and there were a lot of questions about the project, and so I hope both the Board of Education and the borough move forward in a manner to build a consensus on the project. But that is disappointing, because that was the part of the project where I had my concerns. It was easier to get me on board with it. I want to thank Freeholder Wright again for her service. I will miss you. You've done a tremendous job on the Freeholder board, and I want to congratulate Freeholder Bergen for his 2-year tenure. I'm sure he's very excited not to be chairman in a couple of weeks. I want to wish everyone a Merry Christmas. I know Hanukkah just ended yesterday, I believe. As Happy Kwanzaa and a Happy New Year to everyone, and please be safe and enjoy friends and family over the holiday. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Jallo.
No comments, Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Freeholder Wright.
Yes. I would like to alert the women business owners that they may be eligible for discounted loans offered through the Union County Economic Development Corporation. The loan program is made possible by a grant from the Tory Burch Foundation Capital Program, with support from the Bank of America. It provides for a 2-point discount on loans up to $50,000 for women borrowers. These loans can be used for practically any business purpose, including paying off more expensive debt. On behalf of the Freeholder Board, I would like to thank the Tory Burch Foundation and the UCEDC President for providing this opportunity to increase the entrepreneur profile of women in Union County. If you are interested in applying, you can start with UCEDC's online pre-qualification application or call UCEDC at 908-527-1166. That's 908-527-1166.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Kowalski.
Thank you, Chairman, and thanks again to Freeholder Wright and also to you, Chairman, for your leadership as chair. I want to also thank Freeholder Wright's family for joining us today, and also the residents of Elizabeth, Linden, and Roselle who've come to listen and participate. We have, it's the end of the year, but we still have a few things scheduled. On December 27th, our Aging Services Kiosk will be available to people, to seniors and people with disabilities, to provide information and guidance about our programs that are available to you. So any Union County resident can come to any of our Ask locations. And so this one will be Wednesday, December 27th from 10 a.m. to noon at the Elizabeth Public Library, and that's located at 11 South Broad Street in Elizabeth. That's the library that's just a catty corner to this building. For more information about any of our senior services or services for the disabled, you can call our Division on Aging toll-free, and that is 888-280-8226. And one other thing happening is tomorrow we have our annual Christmas sing-along, and it's an opportunity for people to bring the children, take a photo with Santa, have a look at the beautiful tree that was donated by Miss Carol Guevara of Linden. We appreciate her sharing the tree with us, and we appreciate all the work done by our county employees throughout the year, and I hope many of our employees and the public will be joining us tomorrow. I want to just wish everyone happy, healthy, and safe holidays. Thank you, Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Estrada.
Just a couple of things. One is that I want to make sure that my bank time gets transferred to 2018. Because I haven't had a chance to use all my time that I've normally have, and
Not transferable from year to year.
it's transferable as of December 31st, and Ms. Taylor will take care of my transfer for me to make sure that my time is adequately recorded for 2018, because I plan to use it all. And I want to wish everybody a Happy New Year, and whatever holidays you celebrate, whichever may be, have the best with your family. Thank you.
Thank you, Freeholder. Freeholder Mirabella.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a couple of things. The Union County Human Relations Commission will be accepting nominations for the 2018 Unity Achievement Award. That's going to be until Wednesday, December 27th. The award honors volunteerism, public service that promotes cultural diversity, community relations, and human rights. This, of course, is a hectic time of year, but I encourage everyone to take a few minutes, think about it, someone who's made a difference in their community, and make a nomination. It's a wonderful way to honor our fellow Union County residents who make a real difference, and to help encourage all of those who work to make Union County a healthy and strong community. Last year, the Unity Awards included grief counselors, veterans, and an 8th grade students who made a difference. Their efforts, including helping children cope with loss, providing meals to seniors, and helping young people understand autism. To submit a nomination, use the form available online at ucnj.org/UCHRC, or call the Human Relations Commission at 908-889-9028. So please take some time to do that. I want to take a couple of minutes to thank the county manager, the deputy county manager, all the directors, and all the employees of Union County for what I consider a very, very good year here in Union County. The hard work that sometimes this board takes credit for is really as a result of the leadership of the county manager through the directors and through the personal responsibility taken by our employees. We have a wonderful staff. They work hard. They care about the residents. And I'm just delighted to be able to be in a position to work with such a talented group. I want to thank, again, Freeholder Wright. Maybe I'll be my kid's favorite freeholder now. I don't know. They have always said that you're their favorite freeholder. It's probably going to be Freeholder Carter. It probably won't even be me. I might be third. But I appreciate, Freeholder, all your work. And Chairman Bergen, I can't really say enough about the effort that you've expended over the last 2 years. I mean, many of us up here have served as chairman, typically for 1 year at a time, and to be able to do that 2 years in a row was, I'm sure, very challenging and very difficult, but you handled it in a calm and measured way. Your leadership style is fair. You listen to people, whether you agreed with them or not, and made decisions you thought was on behalf of the most people in Union County. So I appreciate, Chairman, your efforts, and have someone who served as chairman. I know how difficult it is, let alone I don't know how you did it 2 years in a row, because I have said, there's 2 great days when you're chairman. The day you get sworn in, the last day of the year, to give it to somebody else to do. And the fact that you did it for 2 years, I really want to hold my hat up to you, because you did a terrific job in a very difficult 2 years.
Thank you.
I want to share the sentiments of my colleagues, too, and wish everyone a great holiday season. For those who celebrated Hanukkah, I hope it was a terrific celebration. And for those of us upcoming for Kwanzaa and Christmas, I wish only the best. And for all our residents, I wish them a great new year. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Freeholder. County Council?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I appreciate the opportunity to express publicly what I expressed to Freeholder Wright last night, and it's truly been my honor and distinct pleasure to have worked with you over the last 6 years, and I want to wish you all the best going forward. Thank you. And to you, Mr. Chairman, it has been an interesting 2 years working together. I'm sure you're glad it's over to some extent, but I also look forward to working with you in a somewhat different capacity going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. County Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. First of all, thank you, Mirabelle, for those Freeholder Mirabelle, for those kind words, and I'd just like to also thank the Freeholder Board for all their support, my department heads, and all of our employees for all the efforts and all their work throughout the year. I really appreciate it. It is truly a team effort. And Freeholder Wright, wasn't expecting to speak last night, but what I said, I meant from the heart. You are truly a person of character, and it's been an honor to work for you. I appreciate all of your leadership, your dedication, and your guidance to me personally. Thank you, and I wish you all the best. And last but not least, Chairman Bergen, you've been chairman for 2 years. We've worked very closely together as the entire board, but it's been a very special relationship, and I value that, and I thank you for all your support in particular that you've given to me. And finally, I'd just like to wish all the residents a happy holiday season, a safe new year, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chairman.
Thank you, Chairman. Just want to wish everyone a happy holidays and a happy new year. Also, in remarks to our chairman, I would like to call up the Freeholder Board to the front as we honor somebody who's been a true leader and exemplifies what it means to be a public servant and always making every decision over the past 2 years in the best interest of our residents here in Union County, and for that we'll always be forever grateful. So, Freeholder Board. Well, I think we'll start to the left and start with some remarks in reference to Chairman Bergen. County Manager Alfiella.
Thank you. Again, as I mentioned, we've worked together very, very closely over the last 2 years, Chairman, and I really appreciate all your support and your leadership. And it's been truly an honor and a privilege to work for you for the last 2 years. And maybe you can relax a little bit over that holiday season and next year as you take your role as a quote unquote regular freeholder. And I thank you again. It's been a real honor. Thank you.
Well, 2 years have passed. I think, if anything, we should learn from the experience. We have a lot of work to do. It's one of those things that I find often that we need to look back and see what our accomplishments were and where we have failed.
Part of the team. And for one last time, may I please have a motion to adjourn?
So moved, Mr. Chairman. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have
Yes,
a
as noted.
great New Year's, everybody. Thank you.